Stetson Bennett, the Georgia boy, back-to-back national champion, 29 pass attempts, 17 completions, 191 yards, a touchdown, 2 dropped interceptions at the very beginning, which wasn't very sexy, and he was sacked as well. What were your takeaways from the biggest sample size of the rookie quarterbacks that we saw in the first week of preseason?
Dude, Stetson Bennett. I mean, it's just, it's
Yeah,
like,
go.
I mean,
Let me hear it.
it's
I'm here
just,
for it.
it's like I could have predicted it though. Like I feel like Stetson Bennett is just a guy who, like, obviously the dude freaking was in the college for 10 years, so I think you
Right.
know kind of had to do that.
He said I had to do that.
Yeah. But yeah, again, a guy who, it's like I said, like it's just the quintessential successful in college, doesn't get the hype, gets drafted late, going in now to a perfect situation with an aging quarterback, a team that obviously is having a terrible Super Bowl hangover. And I
Yeah.
think a guy who could take the starting job. I definitely think he could take the
Yes.
starting job. I don't think it'll be week 1, but I think a guy who definitely can. Obviously, you
Right.
talk about size, not ideal for him.
Right.
But he's a winner. Like he's a guy who has proven
100%.
that he can be
He's
a
a gamer.
winner. Yeah, and you know, regardless if people say, "Oh, well, Georgia had the best team," blah blah blah. Like, okay, I mean, the quarterback's, you know, the helm of the offense. So,
Right. Georgia had a lot of great teams with better quarterbacks
yeah,
than Stetson Bennett
exactly.
that didn't win the fucking title.
Yeah, exactly. So it's just, again, he's a winner. I have a ton of respect for him. So I think, you know, go out and ball, and he obviously did that. Obviously, every quarterback's gonna have the ugly throw, no matter, you know, who you are going to the NFL.
Right.
Going to the NFL, it's
Everyone
an
did.
adjustment. It's
Yep.
you know, it's like that in every sport. You know, going to the next level, it's an adjustment no matter who you are. But again, Stetson Bennett, I think is you know, putting himself on the map, and I really would love to
Yep.
see it. Again, a guy who he's showing up for those small quarterbacks. So hopefully he goes and kind of continues that. But again, after, you know, biggest sample size, biggest production rate out of all the quarterbacks in terms of,
Yep.
you know, just being able to complete passes. And
Mhm.
so again, I'm very happy for him. I'm rooting for him.
Yeah, me too, man. Big time. Not only because I'm a Georgia fan, not
Yeah.
only because he did bring us back-to-back national titles, but because I was actually impressed by a quarterback for our team stepping up in not 1, but 2 seasons that both times he steps up in big games, in
Yep.
big moments in those seasons, we go on to win the national title. People forget when we won the first title game, I want to say it was after he threw that kind of ugly fumble that rolled off the edge of his hand and goes out of
Mhm.
bounds, and Alabama gets the ball at like the 10. Stetson Bennett, I don't think, had an incomplete pass after that, had 2 touchdown passes, and then also in the game against Ohio State, steps up big, 2 touchdown. I think it was maybe 1 or 2 touchdown passes, but to know that he was able to hang in the pocket, he was able to rely on his arm, he was able to air it out, make the reads, have the confidence in the grit of the biggest games of your career and of the season, and be able to deliver in back-to-back seasons. If we could have brought Stetson back for the three-peat, I would have done it. And I absolutely mean that, because I love the composure that he had. Give him his 11th year, his 27th year, his 47th year in college. That's fine with me. Let him redshirt 17 times over.
Yeah.
If he's going to play quarterback in the NFL the way that he did in Georgia, I do think he's going to have a very Kirk Cousins-esque
Yep.
career. Again, 17 for 29, 191 yards, touchdowns, 191 yards, a touchdown, 2 drop picks,
191
a sack.
touchdowns. That would be quite a.
Hey, 191 touchdowns or he's a bust, bro. No doubt about it. But, you know, two of his first three throws were almost picks, and the mobility looked pretty good on play action. I was actually pretty impressed on how he can move. I knew he was able to do that, but just to see him do it again, he looks great in a Rams uniform, by the way. It's pretty
Yeah.
crazy. The delivery was solid. I thought he looked really comfortable, and he was really agile in the pocket. He had really good pocket presence, and I think that was the biggest compliment from this game. He wasn't twitchy. He was very fluid. It felt like he was behind that, you know, 5-star Georgia offensive line. Like he was really just in Kirby Smart's system all over again, just going through the plays, understanding it. He did have some overthrows and some misfires, but
Yeah.
that's to be given. You know, he picks up on the pressure well, and he took just 1 sack. But, you know, one thing that, again, I really took away alongside the, you know, the comfortability, how comfortable and agile he was in the pocket, he dead serious looked like a blend of Stafford and Goff while playing in that preseason game. Really more leaning on the Goff side because, you know, a little lankier, a little smaller. But what I love the most, and again, the most decorated coach out of the 5 rookie quarterbacks that we're talking about here in the segment, McVay really let him play action,
Yeah.
deep shots over the middle of the field, like major confidence in Stetson Bennett, and you saw it and you felt it. And you know McVay is a guy, youngest ever Super Bowl winner as a coach. You know McVay is a guy that buys into his players, just like Vrabel. He's going to milk them. He's going to get it out of them. And to know that it feels like Stetson Bennett's already seen maybe implemented 65% of the offense. Might be a little bit prisoner of the moment because it's a big sample size, but to know that he was allowed to throw 29 passes, be able to move around. I love the multiple deep shots. I love the play action. And I really hope that McVay got a gem at the end of everything, man.